My name is DJ Charlesy. I am from the east side of London, Bethnal Green to be precise. I'm a DJ, Tiny Tempers DJ, radio presenter. And that pretty much sums it up. So I started when I was like 12, 13. I probably did my first ever set when I was about 15 at under 18s. I wouldn't say I mastered it because it wasn't a very good set, but it worked and it was enough. And then I think, because I started DJing and then my brother didn't let me on his decks, and one day he come in and caught me on his decks. And then he kind of helped me along the way. And then after, that's when I had the first booking, and then when I was about 16, I started DJing properly. And it was acceptable to get paid at that point. What makes a good song for me, 2 or 3 years ago before I was on radio, would be something that would get the crowd going in a club. Now, to me, what makes a good song, a complete song, is that plus being able to play it on radio. So something that's got a crazy hook, a good beat, and nowadays not even necessarily a massive artist on it.
Like what I'm playing on radio is pretty much this kind of crowd. It's like quite commercial, but carnage. Yep, let me go and talk to these pyro guys. So basically, as well as like doing my DJ set and doing tinies, I pretty much take care of putting the set together. And then some shows we have pyro and stuff like that, so I've got to talk to the pyro guys, talk to some of the sound guys, just to a point where Tiny literally has to just walk on stage.
Cried like I was injured, bled like a soldier, perspired like a sprinter. Brother said T, keep an eye for them rinses. People that you hang with are trying to link you. Never break down, I'll be there to lift you. You're perfect how you are, so why they trying to fix ya?
I started with vinyl, and I'm glad I did, because a lot of new DJs probably have never even picked up a vinyl. I had between me and my brother, we had a massive like vinyl collection. And then it kind of, now it's gone to CDJs and Serato and stuff. I don't think the transition's bad. It's definitely a lot easier now to DJ than it was back then. But I just think if you brought vinyl back, a lot of DJs would probably be found out.
Taking on me cause I did it single-handed. Whatever will be, even if you planned it. On the road to success, feeling like I'm stranded.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, cool. Are they following you about being an up-and-coming DJ and businessman, yeah?
Trying to, man.
This is the guy, man. Capital FM, Capital Extra.
It's Friday night, it's DJ Charlesy on Capital Extra, and like I said earlier, I have a special guest joining me in the studio. It is the lovely Etta Bond.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I love your name.
Do you?
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's just so like, Etta Bond.
You like it?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't know if I should say it the way I do though.
You can say it. That sounds pretty good to me. That's
Are
cool.
you like related to James Bond?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
The main difference between a radio DJ and a club DJ would probably be the club DJ has to read a crowd and know exactly what they want to hear. So I walk into a club straight away. I always try and get to a club at least like an hour, 45 minutes before to gauge the crowd. And then as soon as I start that set, I should know, well, I will know what the crowd want to hear for the next hour. But on radio, obviously, you haven't got that interaction with the crowd that are listening straight away to know exactly what they want to hear. So you've kind of just got to gauge it by the time you're on. And for me, it's more the music that I like. The way the whole Disturbing London thing happens, a bit of a funny story. One of like a close family friend, Twin B, he was DJing on the N-Dubs tour, and this is probably like 6 years ago now, and I went along with him just to try and like get my name in and my face recognised. And I used to cover some of his sets when he weren't there. And Tiny was actually the support act on that tour. And his DJ didn't come for like 2 shows, I think it was, and I filled in to be his DJ at the same time as well as DJing in between the acts. I was working in a school at the time, like helping with music stuff, and then 2 months later, just before Pass Out kind of got massive, I get a phone call saying, do you actually want to be Tiny's DJ? So I was like, yeah, cool. And then it got to a point where we then went on a Chipmunk tour, and then that's when I had to like completely leave my job at the school. I didn't even tell him. I think I left one lunchtime and just, that was it. And then from that tour, done a full tour, and then that was it. Disturbing London, I was just a Disturbing London DJ, plus Tiny's DJ.
Just trying to be like
Worldwide, global DJ around the world. Dubai, they know you in Dubai.
I used to do bookings for free for like 4 years, 3-4 years when I was that young. And then it went up to like getting £50 a booking an hour, and then sometimes not even getting paid, but just getting paid for the amount of people I bring into the clubs. But I used to do like these parties, which as bad as it sounds, which were just kind of for 16 to 18-year-olds that couldn't really get into clubs. And I managed to find this one place that let us in and sold us alcohol. So I used to do it every month, charge like £1 to get in, and then I'd get about 300-400 people in this small place, crazy. And then there was a club up the road, and there's 2 guys that run it, and they saw what I was doing, and they were probably the first 2 guys that got me DJing in clubs properly. So I used to do my parties every month and then just walk up the road with 300-400 people and walk straight into this club. So they're the kind of 2 guys. It was John and Neil that really got me into it properly. The best piece of advice I got was probably from my brother. And that was probably the moment he walked in and saw me on his decks and didn't know I could actually kind of DJ. And he was just like, he basically taught me how to beat match completely when I just thought everything had to be at 0 and it would mix. The main advice I'd give to a young DJ trying to come up is don't use the sync button straight away. Don't use it at all, should I say. And then just learn how to do the basics and mix music instead of just like using the banger tunes that you know is gonna mix, that everyone else is mixing, like experiment.
So he doesn't really drink as much. For him to drink, like that's why this is probably here. And he drinks that. He's in a headspace where he's like, I just like to be calm and ready, but obviously we just hide that behind there. That's pretty much me, man. Yeah. But it's calm, man. This ain't like a crazy rider. Some people have, like you said, strippers. I've seen rooms where people have like had to get it kitted out like their living room at home because they tour so much, which I understand, but nah, this is cool for us. He's got enough for his lemon and honey tea. I got enough for my throat, and that's it. Popcorn, that's number 1. That's on any of my riders, even in the club. I love popcorn, man. That's my addition. So yeah, pretty much that rider's mine more than Tiny.
I kind of got to say my highlights with Disturbing London, obviously if I wasn't with Disturbing London and affiliated, I probably wouldn't be in this position now. So my highlights would definitely be radio, and like that's thanks to Dumi and everyone, all the team, for helping me push through to do that, because it wasn't really my focus, but they would drive me to want to do that. Pretty much that's the main highlight.
It's Friday night, it's DJ Charlesy on Capital. This one, Feel the Love, Rudimental, John Newman. Rudimental absolutely had a crazy year in 2014. I'm going to get into something from a guy who I'm a big fan of and always have been. The tune that he brought out charted very well. Wretch 3-2, 6 words. Let me get into it.
Musically now, a lot of it's like throwaway. There's a lot of one-hit wonders, and a tune would be #1 that week. The next week a new tune would be #1. The next week a new tune would be #1, and then 3 weeks ago people would have forgotten that tune. Like back in the day when I started DJing, songs were #1 for weeks, like selling 200,000 and stuff like that. So we're in a completely different era for music.
Sorry, mate. I bet you get it all the time, man.
It's alright, man. Where you from?
From Birmingham.
Birmingham. Cool. Enjoy, man.
Respect, man. Appreciate
Cool.
it. Thanks.
See you later.
5 years time, I think I would like to see myself with a major radio show that's like influential on music. So pretty much to a point where what I kind of play, people are taking note of. And on Capital at the minute, there's not really that kind of show. So in 5 years time, that's where I'd want to be more than anything. The best thing about being a DJ is that you can go to a club if you're about that life. You can go to a club and you don't really have to pay for anything. That to me is one of the best things. Every day is pretty much different. I would probably go by planning my week. So on a Monday I'd sit down with Kingsley, who pretty much works like one-on-one with me. We'd plan my radio show in terms of getting my guests, my resident DJ mixes, even like down to new music and stuff like that. Like he works closely with me on that. All my DJ bookings and stuff like that, he's completely on the road with me on that too. So the person I work closely with definitely is Kingsley, and I don't think I could probably do too much about him. I think it's even got to a point where if he was to completely leave me, I'd be a bit lost. I've got an online magazine that I'm involved in called Love That Mag. That's nearly 2 years old and it's doing pretty good at the minute, just trying to make it grow more. So most of my time's kind of in that, if I'm not DJing or anything to do with music.
I'm Kingsley, I'm Charlesy's tour manager, road manager, assistant, cousin, brother, partner in crime, all them things in one. A normal day with DJ Charlesy is like, so going on, if it's a DJ booking, it depends where we are. So say for example, we're going to somewhere in Manchester and we have to be there, sets at 12, so I'll probably be driving. If I'm not driving, we'll be getting the train. I'll meet him in London, we'll jump on the train together, we'll talk on the way up about what's gonna happen, where we're staying, who we're coming with, because normally we'll roll with a few of our friends. We'll then get to Manchester, I'll then check us into the hotel. While we're checking into the hotel, I'll have already contacted the promoter, letting them know that we're going to be coming up and what time we're going to be there. We're going to get to the club at this time, who's going to pick us up, how we get in there, sort all that logistics out. We'll then roll to the club together. I'll make sure that the table's all ready for when we get there, the drinks are all set up. So then literally all he has to do is just get into the club, go to the table, get his stuff, put it behind the decks, DJ, and that's it, and make sure he gets home at the end of the night.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Huh? I was going to say, was it? I know. Should we go again? So you guys want to hear that one again?